April, there was one run you had against Florida State. It made a very loud sound that they played on the ACC network. What does it actually feel like as a running back when you hit somebody that hard?
Sometimes it's give or take. I mean, that particular hit, I actually didn't know it made that loud of a sound until I watched the video over and the film, but it just depends, honestly. Every hit's different, but that one, for me personally, I didn't know it was that hard until, I actually watched it. But, yeah, it was cool. It was a good feeling, for sure.
Just the game in general, I mean, to be able to get 154 yards and kind of get some momentum going on the ground, and how did that feel for you and you think for the offense in general, to be able to get that going?
It felt great, just being able to be versatile in, our offensive game plan, run the ball, pass the ball. One thing I just thought we could have done better is finishing in the red zone. Definitely would like to see that more, but overall I felt like we had a great game. We stayed on top, and for the most part there was no, chance of them, coming back on us. I felt like we held our own the whole game.
It was a season high in carries and rushing yards for you. Was that kind of the game plan going in to kind of get you going against Florida State?
Yeah, it was. Coach Sweeney emphasized just running the ball in general, and I was just ready. It's the most carries I had this season, but it didn't feel that way until the last drive. We ran a lot of run plays in a row, so in my head I didn't really, run too much. So for the most part, I felt like it was a good amount of carries.
And I think Tristan Leigh yesterday said you kind of, whatever, good or bad, you come over to the offensive line, kind of thank them for their blocking, good or bad. What is your relationship with the offensive line when it comes to when you get big games and maybe not get as much big games?
I give credit to them every single time, for everything that I do in the running game, and every opportunity I get to encourage them, even when things don't go our way. I would like to encourage them, give them, confidence, and just keep going on with the game plan, because in football there's highs and lows, so you just got to continue to go out there and give it your all.
And Tristan Leigh is your roommate, right?
Yeah.
What's that relationship like between you and him rooming with each other?
It's really cool. I mean, just getting to hang out with him off the football field, just seeing who he is as a person, who he's the same every day, day in and day out. So that's been awesome, just to be with him and the other guys at our place and just build that relationship.
I think we were talking, I asked Tristan yesterday about the thing he does pregame where he kind of raises his arms up and down, he's yelling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, it's you guys that allow him to be that person that can do that. I mean, why do you think you guys let Tristan be the guy who kind of hypes you up that way?
Because he has that natural energy. That's just who he is. He's a competitor like that. He likes to, show his energy, and just because who he is, the amount of work he puts in, we know that he's not lying by going up there and, leading the team. He's credible in the sense that he puts in the work. He's grinded all these years, and he cares about this team, and he's a perfect person to be able to lead us in that way.
We talked to TJ Moore yesterday. He was very complimentary of you laying that crucial block that allowed you to get in the end zone. Just what is that sort of connectivity like to sort of, make those type of plays for each other, especially with young freshmen?
It's awesome. I mean, any opportunity I get to affect the team in a positive way, I love that, especially to see him get in the end zone, him being a Florida guy and from Florida, and also us just putting in that play and that scheme where I go block the cornerback. I was just glad to see it work on the first play, first try, and that was just great to see.
Talking to Tristan Leigh yesterday about just sort of the cohesion between you and this offensive line. Just how do you feel like that developed throughout the game? It felt like you guys really had your way in the fourth quarter running the ball.
Just, the passing game opened up the run game, and we were just wearing them down in the fourth quarter. Things just started to open up naturally. That's just naturally how it goes throughout the course of a game. And, we were just able to do what we were able to do. And me getting that long run you saw, and, I guess some of you guys saw the picture, but, the lane was wide open, and I just had to do my job and get as many yards as I could.
talked to some other guys about how helpful the tablets have been on the sidelines. Can you remember like a specific instance where you saw something on the sideline that contributed to a big play?
Contributed to a big play. Yeah, I would say, and for example, when we played Stanford, we were seeing the way that they're playing our guard tackle pool, and they would bring one linebacker down and the other one would wrap around to replace him. So we saw that on film, and we were able to get a big gain out of that because I was able to see the one linebacker could overrun me, so I was able to cut inside of him. So those were like the little details. Those are examples of little details we could see on the iPads. It translated to the game.
Were you a multi-sport athlete growing up?
Yeah, I played a little bit of basketball, ran a little track.
Was that through high school?
Not through high school. I played basketball middle school, and I ran track in high school, yeah.
How do those kind of help you? Like, how have you seen that help you in your football game, you know, just growing up playing different sports?
Just being able to compete, develop different relationships, and really just competition, just being able to go out there, have fun with your friends, and, you're all in it together, so it makes you go harder for them and what makes you want to go, work harder for them. So I would say that aspect, and especially with track, just me working on my speed, my running form, and just the discipline. I used to hate it, honestly. It used to be tough just running every day. For the cool down, we have to do 2 laps. Like, that used to be the worst part, running 2 laps for the cool down. But, it paid off, I feel like, so I'm grateful for it.
So you talk about the one regret from last weekend is just not finishing in the red zone. Like, when you guys look back as an offense, what are some of the things you feel like you can clean up to finish better in those situations?
Just the details, just getting our eyes in the right places. I know me personally, I had a close one where I could have gotten the end zone. Maybe if I would have made a cut a bit earlier, just that feeling and knowing, you got to finish in the red zone. That's been a big emphasis all off season, so we just would love to do that. But it was also great to see Nolan get in there and make some critical kicks that paid off.
What are some of those film sessions like, I guess, when things don't go as well as you want to in the red zone for you guys? So what are those film sessions like?
Coaches talk about it, but, when you win, it's way different from when you lose. You're still expected to make the play if you win, but, instead of you losing, if you're to lose and you don't make that play, it just makes you feel worse, as a player. But if you win and don't make that play, that's something you learn from, and, you just remember as the season goes on.
I think Coach Sweeney said he gives out after each game like a winning grade per se after each game basically. For you, if a younger player in the running back room, do they kind of ask you for advice if their grade isn't like what they want it to be, or how does that like relationship work when you guys get your report cards?
Yeah, they'll definitely come up to me with advice, but one thing that Coach Spiller does a great job of is just being open in communication. He tells us exactly why, we get the grade that we have, and especially with, say you only get 3 plays in a game, and one of them, you don't grade good, that can skew your whole grade. So it's really just dependent on all those factors.
Any questions for Phil from Zoom? Anyone else in the room?
If you had to give one piece of advice to somebody early on in their high school career, what would be something specific that they should work on to get to where you are now?
I would say discipline, just the whole aspect of discipline in your life, in terms of working out, in terms of, just staying focused on the task at hand and not getting distracted by, outside things. I would say that's the biggest thing. Just focus on the goal that you want and focus on that each and every day, and there's a great chance, great possibility that you'll achieve it.
Was your first away game, was communication at all a big factor in that game? Was there anything that kind of changed playing in a home environment, going to an away environment in a hostile crowd?
I'd say the only thing that changes for us is just being our own supporters on the sideline, everyone in there, most people are against us, so we got to be able to hype each other up on the sideline. And we try to do a good job all week playing crowd noise. We played FSU's chant all week just to get ready for that crowd noise. So when you're in the game, honestly, for me at this point, this fourth year, I don't really notice a difference. I'm pretty locked in the game and try not to let outside stuff affect me.
Any other questions? Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Thank you.